a ground meat cottage pie. For every 4 adult people, okay, or 6 if you're counting a couple little kiddos in there, you're gonna use a 12 to 14 inch cast iron skillet or Dutch oven to make your base for the cottage pie. You can double this recipe and make it in 2 pans or in 1 giant, like I have a giant cast iron skillet, it's like this big, I can barely lift it. And you're going to start in each pan that you're making with carrot, celery, and onion, your usual suspects. And we're just gonna sweat that in a little bit of olive oil, get it going, right? And when the vegetables start to sweat out, that's when we can bump up the heat a little bit. This is just on medium. I put the salt and pepper on because salt draws out liquid from everything, right? So that's made this nice and juicy and loosey-goosey. Now we can add our garlic. We don't want the garlic to burn or singe, so we're gonna grate in a little bit of garlic. And we're gonna add in a couple of fresh bay leaves. And we're gonna add in a little fresh thyme. Smells delicious. And then we're going to add 2 pounds per 12 to 14 inch skillet, 2 pounds of meat. You can use ground lamb, that's what my husband and I prefer, or ground beef, that's what my sister and my mother prefer. Guess who's making 2 pans? This gal. Now for the mashed potato chopper, if you want to make it ahead, look at what we're doing here. We have a bain-marie going. A little bit of water in a larger pot, right, than the pot you're holding the potatoes in. You set that in there, and this is over the lowest heat at barely a simmer. When you want to bring the potato topping together, I have salt and white pepper in the potatoes. These are just potatoes put through the food mill, just into the pot, okay? When we cook potatoes, we start with cold water, of course, bring it up to a full boil, liberally salt the water, potatoes love salt. Then we drain and you put them back immediately into the hot pot to get all the excess water off the potatoes. Water is not going to make them flavorful, right? So we dry them out a little bit. Then you add the salt and white pepper. Then when you're ready to mix it all together, add your nutmeg, a little sprinkle of dry mustard, a fair amount of sharp cheddar cheese. Melted butter and some warm milk. Now I do this in stages. We'll see how much, if I need a little bit more. I start with about a cup, and you can go up from there. And a good fat scoop of sour cream. And then once you get that all mixed together, you're good to go. Once the meat is totally brown, I'm going to add a thickening agent, a little bit of flour, right? Stir that around a bit, and then we add a fat splash of Worcestershire. The Worcestershire can go in now, that's fine. I always put Worcestershire in with ground meats. And some red wine. As we were going to break, I was adding in the tomato paste and a little sprinkle of flour. That's our thickening agent. And now I'm picking up all of those great drippings from the bottom of the pan, from the browning of the meat and the softening of the veg, picking all of that up with some red wine. And now we're going to add that bone stocker broth. So we have a little gravy going on in there, right? Keeping it nice and moist. When you're ready, we're going to slather those potatoes on top. If you have the patience, you can make a nice little design. You can take the fork and make little stripes. You can make plaid. You get the idea. You just make a little fun design with the tines of the fork. So we're gonna pop this into the oven. I'm doing dill, chive, and parsley to sprinkle over the top of the whole hot mess. Cute, right? Very, very cute. And then we take our sprinkle, makes it look very festive.